Hello there, pumpkin friends. It's Chad here. Today is Friday. What are we in? March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, hence the green. I'm out here in the greenhouse today, and we're going to talk about the 10 things that you need to know / need to grow a giant pumpkin. So, stay tuned. This will be my second time doing this video. Unfortunately, I filmed it with Max, but we were having a problem with these here microphones. So the audio, when I was filming it with Max, wasn't very good. So unfortunately, this is take number 2. It was a lot cuter with Max, but you know, I'll splice in some Max shots here. So if you see Max and it doesn't seem to make sense, that's why. But on that note, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up, hit the little bell if you want to receive notifications when a video comes out, and comment below if you have any questions. I always get to them at some point or another. Seed starting time is rapidly approaching, and this is the time of the year where typically the views on the YouTube channel start to go on the incline, on the increase, on the upswing, however you want to call it. And we get a lot of viewers who are thinking that it's a good idea to grow a giant pumpkin. And let me tell you, it's a great idea to grow a giant pumpkin. Unless you have, full ass syndrome where eventually you're going to build a big giant greenhouse in your backyard and let it dictate where you purchase your next home. Not saying that I did that or anything, but, just be aware that it might happen if you have that sort of personality. So, if you went to Home Depot and you got yourself a package of giant pumpkin seeds and you're watching this video now and you're on our channel, welcome. Look in years past and you'll see how to do things, and you can fast forward ahead or just keep up with the grow this season. Starting right now though, I want to lay down 10 things that I think are very important for you to consider and keep in mind when you start growing your giant pumpkin this year. So let's begin. Number one is simply space. Giant pumpkins need a lot of space, and I'm going to preface this with all of the things that I'm going to say. There's the minimums and then there's the maximums. I'm going to go with the minimums. If you want to be a maximum, by all means, max out. I'm going to throw out some of the minimums. I would say to grow a giant pumpkin, to 1,000 pounds or so and beyond, you need about 150 square feet. So a 10 by 15 foot plot of pumpkin patch is about what you're going to be looking for if you want to get serious and grow a really big pumpkin, or if you kind of want to goof around and just grow a really big pumpkin. 150 square foot is where you want to be. There was a world record set this last year by Steve Connolly. I want to say it was 1,500-ish pounds or so, grown in 150 square feet. So just because you don't have a lot of space doesn't mean you can't grow a really massive pumpkin. Number 2 would be a good seed. If you're at Home Depot, if you've ordered off of Amazon and you got that sweet seed package that says giant pumpkin on it, do me a favor, don't throw it away. But now that you're watching this channel, you know a guy where you can get good giant pumpkin seeds. If you don't like my pumpkin seeds, which are available at coloradogiants.com, or during certain times of the year, I give them out for free, join your local pumpkin club. Mine is coloradopumpkins.com, the Rocky Mountain Giant Vegetable Growers. No matter where you are at, even in Arizona, there is a club that is dedicated to growing giant pumpkins. Use the Google, get on Google, find some local growers in your area, go to some other websites, worldwidegiantgrowers.com. Oh man, there's a bunch of them. Google giant pumpkin seeds, get yourself some real giant pumpkin seeds. All of the genetics these days can enable you to grow a 1,500 plus pound pumpkin with some effort, but get some real seeds. Number 3, water. Giant pumpkins need lots of water. To grow a 2,000 pound pumpkin, which is 90% water, you need water. In my greenhouse, I'll put down 300 to 400 gallons of water per day. So if you live somewhere and you have a well, and that well can spit out 100 gallons per day, a giant pumpkin might not be in the cards for you. If you live in Arizona and water's super expensive, maybe just grow one plant because that water bill is going to get expensive. Ancillary things past water are obviously like a garden hose that you see strung out here. and hose attachments. That is a very easy way to water your pumpkin. Get some impact sprinklers, piece of cake, or a garden hose sprayer. Water it. That's all you really need. So water and the things to go along with it.
Number 4.
Basic tools. And I just got a splitter from this one. Things like this loop hoe are going to make a world of difference when it comes to maintaining your giant pumpkin plant. Weeds take nutrients, take water from your giant pumpkin, and it's not going to that pumpkin, it's going to the weeds. So things like a loop hoe, rakes, shovels, basic tools are important to growing a giant pumpkin. There is no super duper Pumpkin-O-Matic 10,000 specialty tool that you have to grow a giant. There's just things that make your life easier.
Number 5.
Fertilizer. Giant pumpkins do not get as big as they are without food. Just like me, you know, I've packed on the pounds. Again, I lost some weight, I've gained it back. How did I gain that weight? Well, food. Love food. Giant pumpkins love food as well. So you need fertilizer. You can use something as simple as Miracle Grow that you can get at Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, or choose your local small business, your local gardening supply store. Buy it from there. But they're going to have food or fertilizer. It can be as simple as that Miracle Grow type of fertilizer, or you can get really fancy and use a menagerie of things and change it up as the plant grows along. But at a minimum, you're going to need some fertilizer.
Number 6.
That would be bug spray, pesticides, fungicides. You need some sort of disease and pest management program in the back of your mind for when the time comes. This is going to be different no matter where you grow. In Colorado, we have squash bugs. Back east, they have squash vine borers. So what works in Massachusetts doesn't necessarily work in Colorado. You need to do some research with what pests and diseases are prevalent in your area and be prepared for when you see those pests or diseases to get to work on getting rid of them. Prevention is everything with those two things, with bugs and disease. You want to be on the prevent, offense rather on defense. If you already see a ton of bugs, if you already see the disease, it's already progressed to the point where the plant is being inhibited, and that's not where you want to be. You want to be ahead of those problems so they don't become a bigger problem.
Number 7
is time. Growing a giant pumpkin takes a lot of time. And in addition to time, you need to have some patience, you need to have some grit, and my wife put it best, you need to have a can-do attitude, because you will have hiccups in the road, and you will have setbacks, things won't go how you want them to go, and you're gonna have some problems. That's totally fine. Just about everything can be overcome, but you have to have the time to do it. You have to have the patience, that grit, and the can-do attitude to push past them to get to your giant pumpkin goals. During peak plant growth, you're going to be burying the vines and throwing down your loop hose, and that's just going to take time. Typically, I'll come out a little bit in the morning, and then a little bit, when the wife gets home or after the kids go to bed. Thankfully, the sun is up, and hopefully the kids stay in their rooms and don't come wandering around the house up wondering where Dad is. Not that that's ever happened before. So you have to have time to take care of your plants.
Number 8
is friends. Giant pumpkin growing is basically a team sport. I couldn't do it alone. I have friends that help me, friends that give me advice. My roommate helps when we're out of town. Dell, my mom's husband, he comes out and waters if we're out of town. There's just a lot of people that help me, have the success that I've had. And having friends is always a must. Additionally, you're going to make friends when you do this. There's a specific group of weirdos that like growing giant pumpkins, and pretty much everybody that has fun by getting their hands dirty is a good person. When the time comes, you're going to need help lifting your mammoth pumpkin into the back of your truck or rent a trailer. That's when your pumpkin friends, you pick up the phone, you send them a text, you say it's way off time, I got a monster, can you help? 9 times out of 10, it's a yes. So some good friends, and then also see back to, the number 2 with Good Seed Pumpkin Club. Reach out to the local people, make some friends. We're always happy to help fun competition makes it more fun. If I won all the time, it'd get boring. I don't want that. I want people pushing the envelope and making everybody better. So steel sharpens steel, find some good friends. We're always happy to help.
Number 9.
That's 10.
Oh, like this?
Yep.
Number
Number 9.
The wife wanted this one to go in here, but it's kind of a Colorado-ish specific one. It doesn't apply to everywhere. But for Colorado or places that it's hot or you have lots of hail or there's lots of storms, a cover is a great idea, something that you should have. Before I had this big greenhouse, I had other, hail net bug type of structures that gave my plants shade as well as kept the hail off of them and helped keep bugs out-ish, sort of, kind of. In Colorado, we're at a mile high with lots of sun. We have more sun than not, so shade is very important. We also have tons of hail. So that shade, the hail prevention, is something that's very important if it's applicable to you. If you live somewhere like Massachusetts, that might not be something that you have to really worry about too much. But if you're in somewhere that has those issues, put that on your radar. You don't have to get crazy. You can use PVC hoops and some shade cloth. Cheap and easy.
Number 10.
Is the internet. The internet is this amazing thing. It was invented in the 80s by Al Gore, and now you can use it for all sorts of awesome and interesting things, like watching giant pumpkin growing videos. The internet is super helpful. It will help you connect with the growers in your area, see number 8, as well as learn how other people do things. If you're watching my videos, you'll see how I do things. You can watch somebody like Moby Mike, who's a phenomenal grower, and you can see how he does his grows. There's guys like Frank, or Jacob in Kansas, or Danny in, where is Danny? Michigan, maybe. I think Danny's in Michigan. The Hammonite Homestead, the guy in Kentucky. There's tons of people out there that document their process and put information on the internet for you to learn from. Take what you think I'm doing right, and what Mike's doing right, and what Danny's doing right, and what Jacob's doing right, conglomerate that into your own game plan, and use what works good for you. What works best for me in Colorado in a greenhouse probably won't work that well for somebody in Massachusetts. It's just different, with my type of soil, your type of soil, the time that I can dedicate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So don't just copy what I do or what somebody else does. Learn from us, extract the best parts that you think are relevant to you, and apply that to your own grow. So with that, I think that wraps up the 10 things that I think you should need or know that will help you grow a giant pumpkin this year in 2023 and beyond. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions. I will get to them. And like I said, do a search on the YouTubes. We should make a master list somewhere of all the pumpkin people who put content out there for you to watch. Super helpful. I watch and I learn things every year, so you can definitely do that too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Get out there, grow yourself a giant pumpkin.